Good evening. In this session, let's start discussing regarding 12 5-year plans. Initially, we'll begin with the first plan. We'll be moving ahead. If you observe these plans very clearly, the first 5-year plan started in the year 1951. I already told you, when I say year, we are referring to the financial year, meaning it starts on April 1st and ends on March 31st. So obviously, if you look at the first 5-year plan, it started on April 1st, 1951 and it came to an end by March 31st, 1956. And very next day, meaning April 1st, 1956, we have started the plan number 2, meaning that is the second 5-year plan. So like this, so far we had 12 5-year plans up to the year 2015. But another important point is that apart from these 5-year plans, which have been formulated by the Planning Commission and implemented by the government, apart from these 12 5-year plans, in between you also have annual plans. So we have 2 annual plan periods in between and 1 rolling plan in between. Very, very, very important one. Right, so we had first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan, followed by third 5-year plan. Before going for the fourth 5-year plan, India adopted annual plans. And annual plan is also called plan holiday. When I say plan holiday is a holiday for 5-year plans, not for the plans. It is a holiday for 5-year plans, not for the plans. And starting from 1966 up to the year 1969, we continued with the this annual plans. So 66 to 69 put together is called annual plan period. Clear? And in this particular 3 years, we have 3 annual plans. But why India has adopted annual plans at that time? That is because of the the circumstances that were existing at that time. What exactly happened, I will be discussing with you during the course of this particular topic. Next comes the fourth 5-year plan, followed by the fifth 5-year plan. Kindly remember one thing. I would like to tell you one very important point with respect to fifth 5-year plan. So when it comes to fifth 5-year plan, fourth 5-year plan period is 1969 to 1974. Fifth 5-year plan period is from 1974 to 1979. Right? So when I say 74, you can add 5, that will become 79. But the most important point with respect to the fifth 5-year plan. The fifth 5-year plan is that it has been terminated 1 year earlier. It has been terminated 1 year earlier, meaning it was terminated in the year 1978 because of the circumstances that were existing. What are they? We are going to discuss. Clear? So tomorrow there may be a question. Which of the following 5-year plan has been terminated earlier? Your answer should be fourth 5-year plan. Starting from 1974, instead of up to 1979, it has been terminated in the year 1978 only. But what happened from 1978 to 1980? We had a rolling plan. Clear? 66 to 69, that was the annual plan period, 3 annual plans. But 78 to 80, we have come across with the rolling plan. What do you mean by rolling plan? Rolling plan is a plan which is rolled, which is revised at the end of every year. See, for example, right, in the year 78, you have formulated a plan for a few years. Right, so say for example 5 years. But what happens? So once the first year is over, you are left with the 4 years only. But in the rolling plan, what will happen? At the end of every year, you are revising the plan and you are revising for another 5 years. So you are just rolling the plan. Clear? That is called rolling plan. and India adopted a rolling plan only for one time. That was during the Janata Party government. Clear? So at the time, Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister of India. Clear? So please remember. But again, what happened from 1980? From 1980, Indira Gandhi came to the power, and Indira Gandhi again started, the 5-year plans. So like this, again we have come across with, 5-year plan from 1980 to 85, 85 to, 90. Clear? At the end of, in the year 1984, Srimati Indira Gandhi has been brutally assassinated, and Shri Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India, and he continued the next 5-year plan. But in the elections that were held in the year 1989, Congress party lost the power, and you have a coalition government that came to the power. VK Singh, VP Singh became the the Prime Minister of India. Vishwanath Pratap Singh became the Prime Minister of India. And of course, I'll tell you the whole story during that time. But that was a short-lived government. In the year 1991, so there was an inevitable elections, right? Inevitable elections, midterm elections. So during that midterm elections time, Sri Rajiv Gandhi has been assassinated brutally. And the election continued, and finally Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao became the Prime Minister of India. And after he becomes the Prime Minister, right, starting from 1992, again we have adopted the 5-year plans. But what happened between 1990 and 1992 is that India again adopted the annual plans. So that is the second annual plan period, right? So starting from Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao, right, India experienced and saw many, the prime ministers. But it continued up to the year 2012, and we had 12th 5-year plan in the year 2012, and that has been ended in the year 2017. After that, what happened, I am going to discuss with you later. But the point here is that, so we not just had 12 5-year plans, but in between we had 2 annual plan periods and 1 rolling plan. For the purpose of examination, I want you to remember the plan period of every plan. So what is the first plan period, second plan period, third plan period, fourth, fifth, up to 12th? I want you to remember everything. Clear? Because it may be a question in the examination. Suddenly they may ask you, so what is the plan period of a 8th 5-year plan? You should be able to answer this. Am I clear? That is the reason why when I am showing you the points, please write down the points very carefully and revise it. You will be remembering it automatically. Similarly, which of the following is the the first annual plan period? So they will give you, your answer should be 1966 to 1969. Second annual plan period 1990 up to 1992. Clear? What is the rolling plan period? 78 to 80. And I want you to remember every point for the purpose of examination. Am I clear? So from here we'll be going ahead. Let's discuss the first 5-year plan now. So when it comes to every 5-year plan has given priority to something. In the similar manner, the first 5-year plan has given the priority to agriculture. Because India is an agrarian society, we depend more on agriculture, and the government thought that we will become, once we become self-sufficient with the agricultural produced, then we can concentrate on the rest of the things. That is the reason why the first 5-year plan has given the highest priority to the so-called agriculture. When I say highest priority to agriculture, it does not mean industry and other areas have been neglected. No. When it comes to highest priority, the allocation of the money, that is called outlay, will be more to that particular sector. Clear? This is point number 1. And when it comes to the second 5-year plan, because agriculture was success during the first 5-year plan, India wanted to go ahead with the industrialization. That is the reason why during the second 5-year plan, right, India gave higher priority to the industries. So like this, each 5-year plan had got some priority. What exactly is that we are going to discuss now. If you look at this point, this particular page now, look at this very carefully. Right. So 5-year plans, and here I have given very clearly regarding the the first 5-year plan, and the period is very clear. Without making any mistake, please write as it is. Clear? If you are 100% sure that you are very clear with these particular dates, then don't write. But it's always better to put on the paper, as I told you. And this was based on Harrod-Domer model. Please write down clearly and carefully which 5-year plan was based on Harrod-Domer model. Clear? Answer will be, your answer should be first 5-year plan. What exactly is this? I am going to tell you after some time. So during this session only. Clear? Who is this Harrod? Who is this Domer? Right? So right, why these people are here? Right? What are their contributions? All these things I am going to discuss with you now. Clear? So this is the point number 1. Right? And when it comes to the first 5-year plan, so one important person is the KN Raj. Right? Kakkadan Nandanath Raj. Clear? And this person has drafted few sections of the first 5-year plans. Clear? So he is associated with the first 5-year plans. Clear? Next, agriculture, irrigation and power projects were given top priority during agriculture. So what is the meaning here? Agriculture and its related areas must be given the priority. If you say only agriculture, and if you don't mention irrigation and power projects, right, then what will happen? That is the reason why agriculture, irrigation and power projects were given the top priority to make India self-sufficient with respect to agriculture. Agriculture with a 30% outlay got the highest priority, meaning out of the total allocation for the 5 years, 31% has been allocated only to agriculture. Industry was with 4% outlay, meaning during the first 5-year plan, industry was not given much importance because India wanted to become self-sufficient during the first 5-year plan with agriculture production. This is very important. So now somebody may be getting a doubt, we should have given priority even to the industries. Kindly remember, just a few years before we got the independence, 1947 independence, 1950 we got the constitution, 1951 we started our journey, and we started this 5-year plan journey before the India's first general election that was held in the year 1951 and 52. So that is the reason why there was so much of pressure on the government, and the government tried its best to do best to the nation, and that is the reason why and the government was very clear, if food grains are not there, people will die of starvation. Right? You cannot import from other countries because you are not in a position to pay the import bill. Clear? Today's situation is different. I want you to understand the situation of those years. Am I clear? So that is the reason why agriculture was given the topmost priority with 31% outlay. Outlay means allocation. Now, the production of food grains increased by 20%. Luckily, everything went on well. Agriculture was given the top priority. Monsoons were good. Clear? That is the reason why there were no problems with respect to irrigation, and the entire thing, everything went on very smoothly with respect to agriculture. That is the reason why the food grain production has increased by 20%. Clear? So that is considered to be the success. So whatever the top priority we have given, that we have achieved, and government felt happy, people felt happy, and we have become, the self-sufficient. Meaning, if you follow these methods in future, there will be no dearth with respect to the food grains. That was the basic idea. Clear? So luckily everything went on well, and our agriculture was success, and the prices level fell down, and food prices were declined. Can you please tell me what happened here? The prices of the food grains has come down. Why the prices have come down? Right? So it is because of the more food grain production. Clear? Next. So when it comes to, I told you already, just look at these points. Right? Tomorrow there may be a question with which of the following 5-year plans Harrod Domer, this model is associated with. It is the first 5-year plan. Otherwise they will ask you what exactly is the Harrod Domer model. Right? This is a classical economic growth model that explains the relationship between economic growth, capital accumulation and savings. Very, 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 very important. Right? So in the examination you look for the option where you have economic growth, capital accumulation and savings. Meaning, when you plan something, when you do something, that should lead to economic growth, that should also lead to capital accumulation, and that should also go for the savings. Meaning, so all round development will happen, and that is called Harrod, Domer model. This model was developed by economists, two people. One is Roy Harrod and second one is F.C. Domer during 1930s and 40s. Very, 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 very important. These were the two economists of the time, and they have developed this model, and this is considered to be Harrod Domer model. And because of this one, ultimately you should gain in economic growth, capital accumulation, and there should be an increase in the savings. This is the very, very, very important point, and this is considered to be the so-called Harrod Domer model. Am I clear? Now let's go ahead. Look at this. I have a question for you. You can read the question and answer the question. If supply is more than demand, then what happens? Just now I told you, because of the success of the first 5-year plan, the agriculture production has been increased by 20%. So in India at the time, so there was surplus food grain production. Then what will happen now? So you cannot store the food grains, just like that. Right? And just like today, at that time we did not have so many, the warehouses or godowns. Right? So at that time you have to send it to the market and you have to sell it out. Clear? And when large amounts of food grains are coming to the market, supply is increasing, more supply. Clear? People are there to purchase. But how much people will purchase? Supply is there, but the supply is more than the demand. People will purchase, right, only that amount of food grains, right, which is needed for them and their families. But when you have surplus food grains in the market, then automatically what will happen? What will happen? The prices will reduce. Yes or no? The prices will reduce. Look at this. If the supply is more than demand, then it will lead to inflation. Wrong. More money will be pumped into the market. No. It leads to decline in the prices. It should be correct. Initially prices are reduced, then it leads to inflation. How it will be? No. Right? So then answer should be, that will lead to decline in the prices of the food grains. I told you earlier also, if supply is more than demand, the prices will come down. If demand is more than supply, then that will lead to price rise, and that will lead to inflation. Am I clear? Next. So hope you got this, my dear friends. I want you to these concepts to understand very clearly. Is that okay? And if you have any doubts, please mail me. Right? I am here to answer. So this is the answer. That leads to decline in prices. Clear? Now. Next, we are discussing regarding first 5-year plan 1951 to 56. One of the very important aspects of 1951 plan, meaning the first 5-year plan, is the commencement of community development program in the year 1952, and it was launched on the very auspicious day for India. It was during the birth anniversary of Bapuji, father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Clear? So meaning on October 2nd, 1952, community development program has been launched. What do you mean by community development program? Right? So during our Indian polity classes, I have already discussed with you what is community development program and how come it gave rise to the so-called Panchayat Raj later. I also discussed with you regarding Balwantarai Mehta Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee, L.M. Singhvi Committee, G.V.K. Rao Committee. Then we have come across with the 73rd Constitution Amendment. What happened during the time of Rajiv Gandhi and what happened during the time of the Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao. Right? How particular this particular amendment became an act, when it came into force, and what are all the various provisions and what is the current situation. Everything I have discussed with you during our Indian polity classes. And if you have any doubt regarding CDP, please refer to our Indian polity classes under the heading of the Panchayati Raj. Am I clear? So now, but let me tell you a few points regarding community development program. This is actually when I say community is nothing but it's a place where group of people living together, nothing but a village, right? So instead of calling it as village development program, it has been named as a community development program, CDP popularly called. And very next year it has been extended on the name of the National Extension Service exactly after 1 year. Meaning October 2nd, 1953, National Extension Service has been launched. National Extension Service is nothing but the expansion of the CDP that was launched on October 2nd, 1952. Years are important, dates are important, names of the programs are important. Am I clear? So now, what exactly is this CDP? When it comes to CDP, government wanted to go for the development of the villages. Mahatma Gandhi always used to say that India lives in villages. Unless you develop the villages, the country will not be developed. So this is the idea of Shri Mahatma Gandhi, and government wanted to go with the idea of Mahatma Gandhi with respect to development of the villages, so that will lead to the development of the nation. Clear? So group of villages put together is called mandal. Mandals put together is called district. Districts put together is called state. States and union territories put together is called the nation. So if you want to develop the nation, start from the grassroots level. Develop all the villages. In India, you have more than 6 lakh villages. And if you develop all the villages, then obviously all mandals are developed. All mandals are developed means all districts are developed. All districts are developed means the state is developed. All the states are developed. If all the states are developed, then automatically the nation is developed. So that was the idea that was proposed by Mahatma Gandhi at that time, and that has been implemented on the name of community development program. But what do you mean by development? Development is not just agriculture. Development is not just industries. Development is related to the overall development. Meaning in every village, you should have agriculture, you should have irrigation, you should have drinking water, you should have education facilities, you should have communication facilities, you should have the health facilities. If you provide all the things at the village level, there is no necessity for the people to migrate from one village to the other areas. So there is no necessity to migrate from rural to urban areas. That is the basic idea. Am I clear? Right? So this is how exactly it happened. But imagine India 6 lakh, more than 6 lakh villages. But if you want to implement a community development program in all the villages in India, definitely that will incur lots of expenditure. Every development incurs expenditure, my dear friends. That is the reason why, right? If the program is successful, no problem. India will be happy. Right? But we don't know whether the program will be successful or not. What do you mean by successful? If a program is implemented, if it is accepted by the people, then that is called a success. If people are not accepting, that program is a failure. For example, if you look at India, pulse polio immunization. Clear? So we have launched this program and government is spending thousands of crores every year on this one, and today India became polio free nation, meaning people have accepted. They got their children to the vaccination centers and vaccination was administered to the children. That is the reason why India became polio free nation today. That has been acknowledged even by a World Health Organization. Clear? So similarly, when you look at this community development program, you are going for the development. That's fine. But whether the people will accept it or not. For this reason, every large scale program is implemented by the government in the form of a pilot project. Pilot project means, you will take only few areas and only in those few villages the program will be implemented. Over a period of time, the government will monitor and the government will analyze. If government feels that the people are accepting, then the government will expand the program. Clear? The government will extend the program throughout the nation. That is the reason why community development program initially launched in few areas in North India, few areas in the South India. But within a short period, government came to know that the people are accepting community development program. People are ready for the development. That is the reason why very next year on October 2nd, 1953, this program has been extended throughout the country on the name of the National Extension Service, NES. Clear? CDP, NES. And these two have been implemented during the first 5-year plan. Clear? Now look at the points here. The CDP was launched in the year 1952. Clear? To bring about all-round development of the rural areas with a special emphasis on agriculture. It was a great success, meaning second 5-year plan was a great success and the targets were achieved. Sorry, the first 5-year plan. I'm taking back this. The first 5-year plan was a success and the targets were achieved. But during this plan, limited attention was paid to the social objectives. Right? In order to attain the social objectives, in order to achieve social objectives, you need lots of money. That is the reason why limited focus was there on social objectives during the first 5-year plan. Industrial sector was neglected at the time, just 4% outlay, because our idea was different. India has to become self-sufficient with respect to agriculture, with respect to food grain production. So when it comes to locomotive factory set up in Chittaranjan, fertilizers factory set up in Sindri, Indian telephone industry was set up in Bangalore. At the time it was called Bangalore, right? Bangalore. So now it is called Bengaluru, right? Even the spelling you should also change. So all were set up to, the so-called during the first 5-year plan. Objectives like, you know, refugee rehabilitation, self-sufficiency were, you know, achieved. So refugee rehabilitation is nothing but, at the time of partition, some of the people opted to go to Pakistan, but later, you know, they have realized and they wanted to come back. But of course, time was given, and during that period, whoever came back to India, they were provided with a, you know, citizenship. But because of various reasons, some people could not come in time, but later they forcefully entered into India. Clear? And they were all kept as, you know, refugees, and those refugees were rehabilitated during the first plan. Clear? Next. And of course, even today also we have this refugee crisis. Clear? Now look at this clear points here. First plan period, you already know. Target growth was 2.1%. Actual growth 3.6%. That is the reason why it was considered to be a great success. Am I clear? Next. Let's go ahead. Let's discuss regarding second 5-year plan. Dates, you can have a look at this very clearly and write down 56 to 1961. And during each 5-year plan, who was the prime minister, that also, you know, you have to write down. Clear? And when it comes to second 5-year plan, it is called Nehru-Mahalanobis model. I told you already. And the architect of the second 5-year plan was PC Mahalanobis. Clear? We have discussed, right? When it comes to this great personality, he is best remembered for the Mahalanobis distance, a statistical measure. So this has been developed by PC Mahalanobis. Clear? And this is named as, you know, Mahalanobis distance, and this is a statistical measure. Very important one. In the examination, they will ask you what is a Mahalanobis distance. So this is a statistical measure. Please make a note of this. And he was one of the members of the first planning commission of India, right? And of course, with the intimacy that he has with the Prime Minister of India, both have developed the second 5-year plan, and it has been completely drafted by PC Mahalanobis. That is the reason why he is called architect of the second 5-year plan. Am I clear? I told you already, Nehru always wanted a rapid economic development that is possible through the industries only. PC Mahalanobis also had the same type of ideology. That is the reason why they worked together, and in order to reflect the ideas of Sri Nehru, this plan has come into the picture, and enough emphasis and highest priority has been given to industries. Clear? Because agriculture was successful in the first 5-year plan, agriculture was given the second priority. Clear? But that created some problem here. We will understand what is this. Right. Since agriculture was a great success during the first plan, the emphasis was laid on industries during the second plan. Right? Industry was given the top priority during the second plan. Agriculture, first plan. Industry, second plan. Industries were given high priority with a 20.1% outlay. In the first 5-year plan, we have given only 4% outlay. It has been drastically increased to 20.1%. Clear? Transport and communication, which were given priority during first plan, continued to get the priority. Fine? Hope you are following, my dear friends. Now, what is the plan period? 56 to 61. Next. So when it comes to, you know, certain steel plants, like, you know, steel plants at Biloy, at the time it was in Madhya Pradesh, now in Chhattisgarh, Rourkela, that is in Odisha, Durgapur, all these were set up during the second 5-year plan. Heavy engineering plant at Ranchi, lignite corporation at Neyveli, integral coach factory at Perumbuduru were also set up. What were the main objectives of the second plan? Look at this, rapid industrialization. Clear? So according to Nehru, if you establish more heavy industries, the production will be more. Because you want more production, you have to employ more people, meaning large number of people will get the employment, large number of people will be working together, and there will be large development with respect to economy, and our economy will become prosperous. Am I clear? So rapid increase in the national income. That's it. Massive expansion of the employment opportunities and a reduction of income and wealth. Very, 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 very important. Clear? So this is what exactly happened during the second 5-year plan. Right? Now some more points here. Please look at this. When it comes to the second 5-year plan, the targets were not achieved, but a firm foundation was established for the industrialization. Right? So whatever the target we have fixed, that target was not achieved. But first 5-year plan, we have surpassed the target. But in second 5-year plan, it was not touched. That is the reason why second 5-year plan is considered to be a partial success. So as the second plan gave priority to the industry and neglected the agriculture, it led to the balance of payment problem. This India experienced during the second 5-year plan. So this is the time for us to know more about what is the BOP, balance of payment problem. Look at this. This is nothing but a record of all international financial transactions made by the residents of a country. There are 3 main categories of BOP. One is the current account, second one is the capital account, and third one is the financial account. Just write down these points. When we discuss about the industry, I will give you more details on the current accounts, capital accounts, and the financial accounts. Am I clear? But when it comes to the BOP, this is considered to be the total transactions between the residents of a country. Is so obviously when it comes to balance of payment problem, your imports are more and exports are less. If both are equal, at least you have money to pay. But exports are less and imports are low, that will lead to deficiency, and that is called balance of payment problem. Of course, when we discuss about industry, I'll tell you more about BOP. You also have balance of trade. So many things will come into the picture. So at that time, we'll discuss. Clear? So now let's go ahead and look at this. So when it comes to, at the end of the second plan, prices were increased, meaning food prices were increased by 30%. At the end of the first 5-year plan, the production has been increased by 20%. But when it comes to second 5-year plan, by the end of the plan, the prices have been increased by 30%. What is the reason here? When the prices are increased means demand is more than supply. In the first year plan, what happened? Supply is more than demand. That is the reason why there is a price reduction. Now there is an inflation. There is a price increase. That is because demand is more than supply. Demand is more than supply. Supply is less because our agriculture got affected. Clear? Very, 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 very important point. Next. Right? So target growth was 4.5%. Right? It was the target, but actual growth was some correction here. Yes, actual growth was 4.3%. So that is the reason why second plan is considered to be a partial success. First plan, super success. Second plan, partial success. Clear? So this is about the first plan and second plan, and in the next session we will be discussing regarding third plan and other plans. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next session.